Monday and good evening. Today I've chosen to bite off a bigger topic for you, and we're going to be continuing our conversations around social media. And one of the questions that I get quite a bit by tree service professionals and home service professionals in general is there's so many social media platforms. Like, which one should I be using or not using, and which ones should I focus on? Which ones are going to create leads for me? So I make this question really simple because I know a lot of people will dance around it and say it depends. But I'm going to speak to the 90 to 95% in risk that other people have objections or disagree. And I believe that there are two platforms that you should really focus on if you have the time and attention for two. If you don't, then I'm a big fan of like pick a prime platform, like focus on one, build the audience, go deep, don't go wide, like figure out how to connect with people on one channel before you move to the other ones. So, as the caption implies, my two standout social media platforms for 2025 for tree service contractors in particular are YouTube and Facebook. And let me show you exactly why. So, pop up my screen here. I pulled up a few statistics to kind of run through while I'm explaining this. First one, the blog post I found on exploding topics. These were numbers that kind of already notionally knew, but wanted to pull the new ones for 2025. So check out the top websites here. The 100 most visited websites globally. Number one by a landslide, google.com. So this means that people are going to search for your services. Google is not dying. SEO is not dead. Like, look how much monthly traffic is still coming through here. Are we going to have to create great content? Yes. So we're going to have to adapt to AI? Yes. But is Google dead? No, absolutely not. It is still the 9,000 pound gorilla in the space. Well, do you know who Google also owns and is the second most and probably the top platform I recommend as a tree service contractor you'd be looking at? YouTube. At 77.9 billion monthly visits, YouTube has recently rolled out the Shorts feature. They're pushing it. Google wants people to spend more time on YouTube. You see more YouTube videos in the search results directly. They're coming into the AI overviews as part of the recommendation. Like, it's everywhere. And the big kicker thing that I like about YouTube, we'll get to in a second. But before we move on from this, the very next platform, Facebook. And so while YouTube is beaten out by a landslide, Facebook has some sizable distance, like almost double Reddit, almost three times X. So like your audience is on here. And what we'll see in a second when we look at the other stats is that the demographic skews older. You know who owns homes? People in the older demographics. You know who has money and the ability to pay for your services at scale, consistently as a repeat customer, or pay for those really big jobs that you need done? The older generation of people. So you want to speak to them on the social media platforms that they are present on. All right. Moving on from this. This one I want to show more. Which social medias are most popular? Percent of US adults who say they've ever used YouTube. Look at blowing it out of the water, like almost 95% here. Facebook, everybody's on it. And then you have this huge gap, right? So you see growth in Pinterest, TikTok. Like, yes, these platforms are trending, but they're trending up with a younger generation of people who just don't have money, financial resources, homes. Like, are there outliers or early adopters on those platforms? Absolutely. But the majority of the attention is still up here on YouTube and Facebook. This is where you want to focus your time and attention. Then the breakdown by age. So you see 18-20 skews Facebook lower, Snapchat higher, and the other social platforms like TikTok and um, like WhatsApp and X and Reddit are all going to rank higher here in these younger demographics. And so you'll definitely have Reddit in the 30 to 49-year-old cohort here. But the older you get, the more it skews heavily in the favor of YouTube and Facebook. And especially when you think about the kind of content, the kinds of content that get consumed change, people in the older demographics are going to YouTube to learn. They're looking for an authority resource. They want to be educated. The beautiful thing about this, if we dig in even further here, is this post right here was really impactful for me when I saw the first graph like this. So we talk about half-life of social media posts by platform. And so what half-life means is like how long has that post been on that platform before it achieves half of the total views or engagement that it will receive in its entire life as a post. So if I post to Snapchat and everybody opens it in 5 minutes, then it's dead. It's done. So maybe the half life of that is like 2.5 minutes. It'd be the point at which half the people saw that snap. So if you look, you scroll down, Facebook has a half life of 60 minutes or Facebook has a half life of 105 minutes. This was an increase from the 60 minutes in the previous analysis in 2022. So these are a little outdated statistics, but you have 105 minutes before you reach like half of the page views on average that you're going to get on Facebook completely. So not the best, like there are definitely better channels, but what I really, really want to highlight here, and if I had to go all in on one thing as a contractor, this is the one I would pick. Look at this. YouTube, owned by Google, as a side note here, is the second most visited website. The average half-life duration of YouTube posts is 8.8 days. That's like many, many times over greater than all of the other social platforms that you're looking at. Like you have Pinterest here and you have blogs. And these are the things that tactically beat YouTube. Like even LinkedIn, which has that longer half-life, it's like YouTube is like 9 times, right? And so you really want to make as a contractor, you have limited time. Like unless you have a full-time social media manager or brand manager, in which case you're a much larger entity. Unless you have a person who's fully dedicated to doing that, and no, I'm not talking about an agency that you hired for $500 a month to pump out happy Easter posts because no one cares. You have a limited amount of time to make meaningful content. And so you have to pick an area of focus. You want to pick the area of focus where you can create leverage with your time, even when your audience is very small. The best place that you can do that for yourself is YouTube by far. And the handshake with this is like take your YouTube videos as a tip, create them, embed them in a blog, use AI to transcribe your video and rewrite an article around it, or vice versa. If you're not super comfortable on camera, start by blogging, go to ChatGPT, go to Claude, write an article about a topic or a question that you got from a customer, pump it back into AI and ask it to write a video script and just read it. Like you could even shoot the video entirely with B-roll and edit it with CapCut. Like you don't even have to be on camera one bit. And so this is super, super powerful for you to understand is you get the most amount of leverage from this platform and you have limited time. And it's the platform that the older demographic is hanging out at. And it's the platform that's the second most visited entity out of every website in the world. Like YouTube is where you will get leverage. And then Facebook is number 2. So hopefully this is helpful for you guys. I get a lot of questions about where should I spend my time? How do I invest? I seriously think YouTube is the ticket for a lot of these contractors and for a lot of people who are looking at where should I be putting my content? Where should I focus on growing a presence? Look at YouTube. As a final aside, if you are looking at AI and you're scared of the direction things are going, or you're like, hey, I don't want to invest in SEO because I'm not sure where that will go. Like, where is the largest library of permanent evergreen video content present? So when video becomes an important precursor to large language model context and search, where do you think a large majority of those results and context is going to be pulled from? So not only is this where the attention is right now, where you can create the greatest amount of leverage, but it is also a platform that will allow you to future proof for what's coming next. So hopefully this is a helpful tip. This is just my opinion. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of slack from a lot of other people who maybe feel differently, but this is how I'm thinking about it for our clients in 2025 and beyond. Hopefully it's helpful. Go execute.